Okay, we're live. So here with the Skeptic Feminist. How are you, mate?
Yes, indeed. I am one of the Skeptic Feminist, Russian Deadpool, reporting for duty.
Very good. And you're in Australia at the moment?
That's right. I'm in Sydney, actually.
Oh, very good. I'm in Melbourne. Yeah. So there's obviously been a little bit of back and forth between you and I, and you wanted to catch up and discuss. So let's discuss.
Indeed. Yeah. First and foremost, I recognize and I want to apologize for the fact that I ran, that I sounded off a bit more than I should have. My anger was generalized and should not have been so carelessly aimed in your direction. It was obviously the piece of shit who was threatening the well-being of children that I was actually upset with, and we never have and never will hold you to account for what your alleged fans say to people.
Sure, I appreciate that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, as far as my actual gripe with what you had to contribute to the situation with Willie Bumblebee and the very specific threats against her children, what was that? It seems to us that you misrepresented some of the information associated with the AVFM situation that she was a part of in 2013, and that this directly resulted in the wannabe kid-killing stalker, who is allegedly your fan, finding their address in school, and hence my condemnation of your actions, although I never threatened you in any way. I want that to be perfectly clear.
I don't think you did threaten me. So how do you think that I misrepresented the 2013 AVFM saga?
Well, she didn't steal any money, from our understanding, from what we've seen of the evidence that she has posted and that you have shared. It seems clear that there was a great deal of fuckery that was going on with the fundraiser that she was attempting to do, that she had originally collected the money for, and I'm sure she'd be better at going through all the details, but I can provide the links for her blog. Unfortunately, much to my chagrin, she has kind of dropped off out of contact, so she cannot be reached for comment, and as such, I'm left with only the evidence that has already been available. It's basically something that was old history that she got a bunch of shit for, she got a bunch of threats for, and I mean, she's a big girl, she's fine with that, but it obviously crosses a line that I think we both agree is entirely too far when, you know, they send her home address and the school of her children and promise to murder them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just before we continue, I mean, you mentioned that she was doxxed in your video. I failed to see where she was doxxed.
No, I meant in the sense that they found her address, not in the sense that they publicized her information. So I misspoke there.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so the point that the Woolly Bumblebee makes in her version of what happened in 2013 and what the evidence she provides suggests is that she was keen on opening a men's shelter called the Earl Silverman Centre.
Mm-hmm.
She collected a heap of donations for that centre. And for whatever reason, whatever fuckery went on, I'm not sure, it doesn't concern me, but for whatever reason, that didn't go ahead. Okay?
That's correct. Yeah. She donated to CAFE instead, which is a men's rights organization that we are personally affiliated with. And
I know the one. Yep.
I mean, it seems plain to me that she is, in fact, very much concerned for the well-being of men and boys, regardless of whatever politics, unsavory politics AVFM may engage in from time to time. She provided screenshots of the donations going through to CAFE, and so it's clear that she didn't steal any money.
No, but that in itself is the problem, because she took donations for a certain fundraising, for a certain project, for this men's centre. Now, one of the key donors who donated about 10% of the money that she collected was a fellow by the name of Dean Esme. Now, he donated his $500. Now, when he found out that the centre was not going ahead, he asked for his money back. Now, if he's donated money for a certain cause and that cause isn't going ahead, then he's got every right to ask for his money back. He's got every right to receive his money back. At that point, it's no longer Woolly Bumblebee's decision as to where that money goes. Now, I realised there was even a dispute about. I think Dean tried to claim something to do with fraud on PayPal, which sounds like it could have been a little bit iffy. Now, that may be the case. That Dean may have done something wrong there. I'm not sure, but it doesn't change the fact that he's entitled to his money back, because what he donated it for didn't happen. Now the Woolly Bumblebee refused to refund his money, and in fact, I think the version of events that she puts up was that apparently with PayPal you only get a certain amount of refunds from your account. I don't know whether it's per month or what the deal is. And she claims that she was at her limit with the amount of refunds that she could do. Now, there's absolutely no limit on how many transactions how many payments you can make in PayPal. So I fail to see the difference between what PayPal would call a refund and a simple just pay him his $500 back. Now this was refused, and it was and Woolly made the decision to donate it to Cafe. Now, whether Woolly gives the money to her mate Jessica, or whether she buys a new car, or whether she donates it to a charity of her choice, it's still depriving the person who is entitled to his money back of his money back.
No, I'm inclined to agree with that. And I am not an expert on that situation, nor that I ever claimed to be. My commentary was strictly and entirely related to the situation that brought about the current threat of death to her children.
What situation was that? What wrongdoing am I responsible of?
I did not say that you are responsible for the threat against your children.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you said my video directly resulted in the threats.
I said that your video dredged up that old debate, and it seems as a direct result of that she got more of this attention from these kind of unstable people.
Well, that's look, if she did in fact get that threat, and it is a legitimate threat, absolutely, I couldn't agree more. It is unfortunate. The other issue I have, I mean, and it's not something that I'm going to push. It's not something I'm demanding an answer on. I'm quite happy to let it lie. Is the credibility of those threats? I mean, it's being touted about that. You know, my audience are vile, violent people, and they're making threats, and they're hideous, horrible things. Yeah. Now.
Yeah, they are actually. I posted screenshots just on the comments they left on that video I made, but not all. Hashtag not all.
Look, in terms of these threats, I mean, you're probably aware that a few months ago the same thing supposedly happened with Professor Moriarty. Now,
I'm really not aware of that. It was mentioned. I'm not privy to any of the details.
Well,
I don't run in those same feminist circles, so I don't.
Right. Well, what happened with that was, I mean, he claimed that he'd received some threats, and so I reached out to him and I said, look, I'm happy to publicly condemn it, happy to do whatever I can to help identify whoever's made these threats. Can I please see them? And you say that you've reported it to the police. A copy of the police report would be good too. And it was point blank refused, right?
Yeah, it seems perfectly reasonable request to me.
Yeah, I agree. Now, the same thing has happened with Woolly Bumblebee. Woolly Bumblebee claims that she reported this threat to the police on the 17th of February. And so I've said, look, again, happy to do whatever I can to help identify whoever's made the threat. Happy to cooperate with the police who are investigating it. Can I please have a copy of the police report and the threat? You know, an unredacted copy of the threat,
Yeah.
because I find it a little bit odd that it was published on her blog with the guy who sent the threat. His email was blacked out. I don't understand the logic behind that.
Yeah, I don't know what the police may have advised her to do in that particular situation. I've never worked with an internet division before, but I do know that she has gone silent, right? She's, you know, turned down her channel and her Twitter and everything like that. And I mean, if it is some kind of a ruse, it seems like an odd way of getting views and clicks if she has no views and clicks to get. Being that she took down her.
Well, no. If it is a ruse, and I'm quite happy to stand corrected if it's not. You know, this is speculation. If it is a ruse, I think it was a ruse in order to deflect attention away from this AVFM thing. I think that's what its purpose was.
Well, but the AVFM thing was ages ago, was it not?
Well, no, because it's been brought up again,
right.
and she's run out of answers now. I don't know if the questions that I've asked were asked in the past, but why wasn't the money returned to Dean Esme? Why did you decide to you know, you could do what you wanted with his money? That's the question that I've asked that she can't seem to answer. Her reasoning stops at, I donated it to Cafe. Well, that's great, but you didn't have any right to donate to Cafe. That's the problem.
No, fair enough. And you know, I'm not at all interested in coming on here to justify anything Woolly Bumblebee has done in the past or plans to do in the future or anything that's rattling around in her brain at this moment. I'm not privy to any of that information. The only thing that I'm interested in clarifying was the source of my ire as someone who works with children. We teach bully-proof classes, basically how to get out of headlocks and things like that. Obviously, we teach military-grade self-defense to adults. That's what I did in the military when I was in the military.
I understand you've helped a couple of women out of Saudi Arabia.
That's correct.
That's good. How did that come
about? Really, they saw some of our work criticizing Islam and the Quran and other religions, and they contacted us, and we offered to have them on our channel. And essentially, the latest one, Moody, who was later featured on CNN when she actually made it to the United States out of Saudi Arabia, was able to come to the United States in part because our fantastic fans wrote letters of asylum on her behalf so that she could turn it into various embassies, be they in Australia or the United States or elsewhere in a country that values universal human rights and free speech. Because her family actively wanted to kill her for, and still does presumably, for her apostasy and for her feminism. And so we're quite proud of that, and you know, we're happy to do whatever little thing we can. So essentially, I did not know about your generous offer to assist Woolly, and I applaud you for it now that I do. And yeah, I meant you certainly no ill will.
Sorry, say again. I didn't catch that.
I meant you personally no ill will. My ire was directed at the piece of shit who wrote that letter. Whoever it was, be they a fan of yours or a fan of Woolly's or whoever the fuck, you know, maybe one day we'll know. Fuck those people very much. And yeah, I have no problem demonstrating the appropriate level of outrage when the lives of children are put under threat.
Yeah, that I agree with you. You know, we're on exactly the same level. Threats against anyone are horrible, but you know, particularly when it's when they involve children. Well, that's good.
I mean, I didn't doubt that for a moment, but it's good. It's good to hear you say it, and Hopefully the feminists that have been giving you a rough time on YouTube, or been trying to give you a rough time on YouTube, hear this chat and hear your unequivocal condemnation of this sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ease up, but that's all part of the game. Tell me, how's Harley's health?
Her health is rocky but improving. She's her biggest problem right now that we've dealt with all the physical stuff, and I appreciate you asking, is mostly with the emotional.
Yep.
It's been kind of rough to try all the different medications that she needs to try in order to find the right one that will stabilize her hormonally and psychologically. And being that she had organs taken out as a result of the last surgery she had to do, but she's still very much a part of the Skeptic Feminist, and we look forward to her being up to making videos sometime soon.
I'm glad to hear she's improving then.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, if you, unless you've got anything else to say, I think we've just about balanced the books in terms of you and I.
Yes, indeed. I very much appreciate you having me on to further elaborate the situation for all parties interested, and we hope nothing but the best for you and your family.
Thank you very much. Good on you, mate. All the best.